Hello guys, welcome to another video of DevOps. In this video, we are going to discuss about continuous integration and continuous deployment. We'll be seeing the differences, we'll be seeing use cases, and we'll also see end-to-end workflow, CICD workflow, which most of the organizations nowadays follow in DevOps practices. Okay, let's begin the video. Let me start by introduction to CICD. So CI means continuous integration and CD means continuous deployment. You can also say as continuous delivery. There is minor difference between continuous deployment and continuous delivery, which I will discuss later. So continuous integration is just the automating code changes integration from multiple contributors. Suppose you have a shared repository like GitHub or Azure repository or Bitbucket or somewhere else, and multiple developers are working into that. So making their code changes and just creating the feature branch, merging their changes, creating the pull request, and there will be one pipeline that is called build pipeline that will build their code, run the test cases, run the scans like SonarQube, Nexus IQ, and publish the artifact. So this part is called as continuous integration in DevOps. Okay, and the next part is now called as continuous deployment, which will just the automates the deployment or release of the code to production after testing. So once your code is built and published in the artifact repository, continuous deployment pipeline will go ahead and download that artifact from the repository. That can be any repository like Nexus repository, or if you are using Azure DevOps, that can be Azure Artifact Feed or even Azure Pipelines. So you can download your artifact from there and deploy those files or deploy those artifacts into the staging environment or production or pre-production. So that is called continuous deployment. Okay, continuous delivery is also similar as continuous deployment. There is a minor difference. In continuous deployment, everything is automation or everything is automated till production. If you are making some change, your change will be deployed till production without any manual intervention. Okay, without any human intervention. But in case of continuous delivery, everything will be deployed till pre-prod or staging environment. Once that is tested, someone has to approve the deployment in production after validating everything. So this is called continuous delivery. Okay, so now let's discuss what is the importance of CI/CD. This speeds of release cycles. You can release your updates, release your software quickly in interval of maybe a week or 15 days or even in a month. This enhances collaboration and provides quick feedback. If you are releasing your software or updates quickly, of course you will be able to get the quick feedback. Okay, even if you are running multiple test cases or SonarQube scans and all these type of things, code coverage changes or code coverage results you will get in the directly in the continuous integration pipeline. So this also enables quick feedback so that you will be able to resolve that issues whatever you might have got in the feedback, and you will be able to supply the hot fix or supply the update again in the next release cycle. These are some of the key components of CI/CD. The first one is source control management. For the example is Git or any other tool, something like this. This is nothing but repository or version control, you can say. You can keep the or you can keep your code base inside the version control like GitHub, and you can use this Git for this source control management. You can use Git commands to clone the repository, to push, pull, or make whatever changes, and finally merge the changes in your main branch. Once that is done, you can run the build automation. So this is another component of CI/CD. Build automation. This automates code building and testing. That is also called CI. That is continuous integration pipeline. Okay. Next one is testing frameworks. Whenever you are building your code in the same pipeline, you can even include the testing details as well. Like if you want to run the unit test cases or functional testing, integration testing, you can do all everything inside that. Okay, so this also supports unit integration and acceptance test. The next one is deployment automation. This automates deployment to staging and production. This is also called continuous deployment or continuous delivery. Next one is monitor and feedback. This ensures stability and quality post deployment. You can use multiple monitoring tools. Different types of monitoring tools are available in the market. You can use any of them, like Azure Monitor, and you can monitor your software or you can monitor your application with them. Okay, so that your application will be stable. You can generate the alerts and incident in the service now. Okay, now let's discuss continuous integration deeply. So this is the CI workflow. If you want to understand the workflow which generally we follow inside the CI pipeline or continuous integration pipeline, these are the some of the steps. The first one is code commit. Whenever developers push code to a shared repository, that is called code commit. Suppose I am a developer and I have one shared repository inside the GitHub. I created one or I cloned that repository and I created one feature branch from that. I just did my changes in my feature branch and again committed that. Okay, so that is called as code commit. That means I committed the code in my feature branch, and later I can create the pull request to merge my feature branch code to the main branch. Okay, once that is merged, automated build, there will be one build pipeline which will be triggered automatically. This will compile our code, or you can say this will build our code. Okay, this you can also run the automated testing, like validates code functionality and quality as well. Even you can run the multiple type of scans to check your code. Okay, in all in the continuous integration step. You can run SonarCube scans, you can run Nexus IQ scans to check the libraries of your code or dependency which you might have used inside your application. Okay, and even you can run the testing to validate if everything is working fine as expected inside your application. Okay, the next one is feedback to developers. How we get the feedback? If there is some issue related to compilation or code changes or developer code, then of course it will the pipeline will not build the code and it will throw the error. So developer has to check that and fix the issue even before releasing that to the development environment, because this build pipeline itself will fail to build the code. Okay, so this whole workflow you can say is known as continuous integration. What are the benefits of CI? Faster feedback, early error detection, like we discussed. We have automated testing. We have multiple type of scans like SonarCube, Nexus IQ, so that you will be able to get the feedback faster and detect your errors early. Okay, so once everything is there, like once you have integrated SonarCube, code coverage, and everything, and you have fixed the issues which SonarCube might have thrown, this will of course improve your code quality as well and code coverage. So this all thing includes the continuous integration. Now let's discuss about continuous deployment. What are the workflow steps in CD pipeline, or you can say continuous delivery pipeline as well? Okay, the first one is automated testing. You can include the testing details or testing test cases in continuous deployment pipeline as well after your deployment is done. Okay, so suppose you have completed deployment in dev, you might want to test your application in dev environment. So you can include or you can run the test cases after the deployment, so that it will check that application is working as expected or not. Okay, next one is staging environment. Allow final checks before production. You can deploy your pipelines or deploy your application in multiple environments like dev, staging, pre-production before deploying your application to the production, so that you will be able to check that your application is working fine in different set of environments or not. The next one is production deployment. This CD pipeline will deploy your code to the live environment, that is also called production. And you can monitor and alerts as well. You can set up monitoring tools and alerts for your application. This will ensure successful deployment and stability for your application. What are the benefits of continuous deployment? Faster releases. Of course, everything is automated, so you will be able to release your software faster. Minimized manual work and fewer errors. If you have no human or minimum human intervention, you will have the fewer errors because everything is automated and being done by the machine, not by the humans. Let's discuss the key differences between CI and CD. These are some of the aspects which we'll see. The first one is focus. Continuous integration focuses more on integrating and testing your code. Okay, but continuous deployment focuses on automating release to production. Automating release from dev, QA, pre-production till production. Okay, what are the goals? Continuous integration detects errors early. Generally, we integrate everything in continuous integration pipeline so that our error in code or bug in code will be detected early. Deliver updates quickly. Of course, this continuous deployment pipeline is to deploy the application. So this will deliver your update quickly till the production. Environment, continuous integration environment, you can say dev test environment. But in case of continuous deployment, generally we use staging and production environment to deploy our application using the continuous deployment pipeline. In some of the cases, generally people use dev test environment as well for continuous deployment pipeline, and some organization use the dev test environment in same continuous integration pipeline, so that their CI pipeline will build the code and will also check if this code is being deployed in dev environment or not. These are some of the use cases of CI/CD. This is CI use cases: large teams working on shared code bases, like we discussed. High frequency code commits. If multiple codes commit are happening inside your repository, you can use the continuous integration. Projects needing consistent testing. So suppose if multiple developers are working for a project, your project of course would need the consistent testing. So you can go for the continuous integration. These are CD use cases: fast updates for application like web apps, continuous feature delivery. If you want to deliver your features quickly, you can use this CD. Projects with reliable automated testing. If you have implemented automation testing, you can of course go for CD part, so that whenever your application is deployed, you will be able to run the automation test cases as well for your application. in the same pipeline. Okay, this is end-to-end CI/CD workflow. Generally, this is the questions. These are some of the questions being asked by interviewers most frequently in any of the interviews. You can like generally they ask what is the CI/CD workflow. They might ask you to explain from start to end. So generally we follow this approach. The first one is code commit. Developer will push the code inside the repository. Once the code is pushed, CI pipeline trigger. There will be one CI pipeline, or you can also say the build pipeline that will be triggered. This will build the code, this will run the test cases, and this will validate that as well. It will compile the code, it will build it, it will run the scenario scans and all. Okay, once all those things are done, this way that will create the artifact as well. That will create the deployable artifact and store that somewhere in the repository or maybe inside the containers like Azure pipelines. Okay, once artifact is created, CD pipeline will be there. CD pipeline will be triggered. You can enable continuous deployment. Once CI pipeline is complete, CD pipeline will be auto triggered. So this will deploy your artifact to multiple environments like dev environment, staging environment, pre-production, and finally production. Okay, once your application is deployed, the final thing pending is monitoring and feedback. So you can set up monitoring. You can use Azure Monitor, CloudWatch if you are using AWS to monitor your application. You can set up the alerts and you can generate the incident in your service now, so that whenever your application is down or something like that, you will get alert as well as application as well as incidents, so that your support team can monitor and provide the feedback like this is not working, and in the next maybe sprint or something like that, you can go ahead and fix that issue. Okay, this is one of the example of CI/CD. Suppose you have to deploy one web application. So what we'll have to do in the CI part, developers will commit code, automated test will be running, code will pass, and CI pipeline will complete here. In the CD pipeline, artifact deployed to staging, staging check pass. That is nothing but the test cases or automation testing. Once this is passed, this will be deployed to production as well. So this part will consist the continuous deployment. What are the tools used? GitHub for source control. You can use other tools as well for your source control. Jenkins for CI, that is called continuous integration. You can use Jenkins for continuous deployment pipeline as well. Kubernetes for deployment and this tool for monitoring. Okay, like this you can use multiple tools in DevOps for to achieve your goal. These are some of the benefits of CI/CD. The first one is faster feedback loop. Since your release cycle is faster, you are able to release your software quickly because everything is automated. Your CI pipeline is building the code, running the test cases, and publishing the artifact. Your CD pipeline is downloading the artifact and deploying it to the multiple environments. So that you will be using this, you are able to release your software within a week or maybe in couple of days. So this way you are achieving the faster feedback loops. You'll be able to get the feedbacks faster from your users. This reduces the deployment risk as well because everything is automated. No human interventions means reduced deployment risk. Higher quality releases. You will be able to release high quality release, and that will not fail or or this will not make your production fail or down because everything is going via testing and scans. easier rollback and recovery. Something if something goes down, you will be able to recover your application easily, and you will be able to roll back your application easily, because you just have to go ahead and deploy the previous artifact or previous version of your artifact again in case of a rollback. This CI/CD supports agile and DevOps practices. You can work in sprint, and you can use CI/CD pipelines, DevOps practices in CI/CD. Everything we discussed, advantages and all in detail. Now let's see what are some of the challenges of implementing CI/CD. If you are a new organization and new to CI/CD or new to DevOps practices, these are some of the challenges you might face while implementing the CI/CD. The first one is infra cost. Since everything is automated, you need infra as well. You need tools, multiple tools. So this will increase your budget and increase your infra cost as well. You will have to set up everything from scratch. You will have to create the virtual machine. You will have to set up everything in cloud or maybe inside your own premises. So this will automate, or this will increase your infra cost. The next one is cultural shift. You will have to adopt the DevOps practices. If you might have been using waterfall approach or something like that to develop your application, you'll have to shift your culture and adopt the DevOps practices. The next one is automated testing. Need for comprehensive and reliable test. If you have not implemented automated testing, you'll have to check this. You can see, like, you'll have to go through with the automation testing in DevOps or CI/CD, because this automation testing or automated testing is important part of CI/CD. You can say if you are not working towards automating your test cases, then you will not be able to achieve, you can see, goals of DevOps practices, or you can see CI/CD of faster feedback. Okay. The next one is tool selection, which is the important one as well, because there are multiple, or you can say hundreds of tools available in the market for CI/CD. So you'll have to select the tool, like which tool is right for you, or which tool is good for your deployment. You'll have to compare each of the tools, and you'll have to select the right tool for your CI/CD pipelines. Let's conclude by giving summary of CI/CD. We use CI/CD, or we use CI for code integration testing, and we use CD for deployment automation and releasing our software to the different set of environments like dev, staging, pre-production, and production. CI/CD enables faster, high-quality software delivery, essential for DevOps. If you are in DevOps, you'll have to use CI/CD tools, and you'll have to implement CI/CD to enable your software, or to reduce your release cycle, and deliver your software quickly to your users. Okay, so that's it from this video. We discussed everything about CI/CD in detail. If you liked it, please like and subscribe my channel. If you have any feedback or suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.